Have you ever scrolled through Quilty Instagram, that beautiful side that we all love to go see, and you see a masterpiece and you immediately think, well, I could never do that. Yeah, I've been there too. And let me tell you a little secret about that voice inside your head. Hey friend, welcome back to Loose Threads and Stitches, the coziest quilty corner of the internet for quilty chats and creative pep talks. I'm Christen, your patchwork loving host. And today we are diving deep into something I know that so many of us wrestle with, and that is creative self-doubt. So whether you've just finished your first wonky log cabin block or you've been quilting for decades, this episode is for you. And don't forget that new episodes drop every single week for this podcast. So be sure to follow or subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you never miss a stitch. Okay, let's talk about that voice. The one that whispers, "You're not a real quilter," or "Why even try when so-and-so's work is so much better than yours." I want to share a story with you. And it's a few years ago, I entered a local quilt show and I was proud of my quilt. It's scrappy, it's colorful, it's full of heart. And I hung it up next to these pristine, perfect showstopper of a quilt. And honestly, it really threw me. Like, I felt like such an imposter. Like, what am I even doing here? Okay. And this woman walked up and she stared at my quilt for a long moment. And I'm prepping myself for, like, do I tell her it's my quilt? Or like, I'm waiting for those words to come out. Like, what is this even doing in here? This must be a mistake, right? And I'm like, I'm having like a nervous breakdown inside, right? Because I'm just having this moment of, I don't know what's going on. And she's looking at the quilt for a long time. It felt like hours, right? And she said out loud, "This quilt feels like joy to me." And yeah, I still remember that moment like clear as day because it changed everything for me. Here's the truth. Your creative voice, the choices that you make, the colors that you love, and the stories that you stitch into your quilts, they matter. Not because they're perfect, but because they're yours, right? So if you're starting out quilting and your seams don't match and your points are a little bit drunk, I don't know, welcome to the club. Perfection isn't the point, okay? At least the way that I quilt. I know there are other people out there who quilt very differently and they quilt specifically for shows, okay? That's something that I've touched on many times before in my talks is like, there's different types of quilting, okay? But if you are quilting because you love it and you want to have a good time and you want a hobby that you really, really enjoy, perfection isn't the point, okay? Connection is the point. When you connect with your quilt, you connect with the emotions inside your quilt, right? We all learn through the making process of every quilt, okay? Every single oops or like mess up is a step towards finding your unique voice. Listen here, my friend. Comparison is a thief of joy, and it is the fun sucker of quilting, okay? Don't do it. Don't go down that road. Next time you catch yourself spiraling, let's be kinder to ourselves, okay? One more thing that I want to tell you today is your creative voice isn't something that you have to find. You don't have to go searching for it. Sometimes you have to figure out exactly where you feel most comfortable at, right? But it's already inside you, and it shows up when you choose purple instead of beige, or like when you try improv piecing just because it looks fun and you want to see what the fun's about, right? Or like when you decide that this quilt gets to be a wild and polka dot binding and like that's what you want to do. That is your creative voice talking, right? Sometimes it shows up when you take a break. Yes, you heard me right. Stepping away, giving yourself a breather, or even just walking away from a project entirely, that's part of the quilting process too, right? Creativity isn't linear. It's lumpy, it's patchy, and it sometimes takes a nap. Okay. I love creativity. I have always been an artist at heart, and I love studying the things that make us who we are as an individual. What is the difference between me, the way that I feel, the way that I carry myself, and the things that I tell myself versus what that person over there is doing and how they carry themselves, right? What's the difference here? How can I be the best version of myself that I want to be, right? So I love to study that. And it's fascinating to me. And creativity it's just endless. You can't run out. It's just endless. It's waiting for you to tap into it. So here is a fun idea for you. I want you to pull out 3 quilts that you've made, no matter how recent, no matter how long ago that you finished them, and I want you to lay them side by side. I don't want you to look for the flaws, because you'll find them immediately, and we all do that. You're like, yeah, I mean, this is beautiful fabric and beautiful stitching, but like right over here, the seams didn't match up. And I remember that because I tried that 5 times, picked it out, and it still didn't match, so I left it in there, right? I don't want you to look for the flaws. I want you to look for you in those projects. I want you to look for the color choices that you made, the pattern that you obsessed for, your little signatures of that have appeared in that quilt. You'll see it. You will see your voice loud and clear in every quilt that you make. Okay. And you know what else? Sharing your work, even if it's not done or perfect, because it's never going to be perfect, right, is very brave. I believe that when you do this, when you share your work, it creates space for other people to do the same. You know, it's vulnerability, and it might be the very thing that helps somebody else feel less alone. I think that's really beautiful. So here's your gentle reminder today. You don't have to wait until you're better to matter in the quilting world. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful in the quilting world. Your voice, your style, your stitched up stories, they're all worthy right now. Right now, they're worthy, and we love having you in the quilting world. Keep sewing, keep sharing, keep showing up, keep teaching other people who want to know what it is that you do, okay? Because that's how we're going to keep the quilting world going and going and going and pass on to other generations. And I want you to know that I am so, so proud of you. And the next time that little voice comes in and says, you are just not good enough, give it a moment and then say, no, just stitch right over it. Just undo that back stitch. That's not your voice, because your voice is much kinder, and you have to practice that kindness to get it to really stick with you. Thank you so much for listening to the Loose Threads and Stitches podcast. Please make sure that you subscribe and share this with a quilty friend who might need the same reminder today. Okay. I want to spread this message far and wide that perfection is not required in this craft. It is joy. And, sometimes some seam ripping, all right? You don't have to be joyful while you're doing seam ripping, but joy in creating things that we want to see more of in the world, okay? So make sure you say hi to me down in the comments. I love, love, love to read your comments and hear what you have to say, okay? What your thoughts are, what your experiences are. I love to read those, and I love to reply back to them. I'm Christen with ICStarsQuilting.com. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. I want you to take a breath, go pet your fabric, and I will see you next week. Bye.